A woman in a man's world. Mrs. Elizabeth Ture was approved as Deputy Inspector General of Police by the Police Council, chaired by the Vice President, on 3rd June 2020.
For you to move from one bank to another, you should be confirmed. You should be confirmed. Then you move. Yes. That should be the procedure.
A long-awaited dream of Mrs. Ture, who has spent over 30 years in the police force, finally came to fruition.
I was really very much eager, taking cognizance of the fact that I have really served the people of Sierra Leone for almost 32 years, committed and dedicated to my job. And when I actually got the news, I was really overwhelmed. And my first thought was, this is the time I have been looking forward to. And I'm really grateful to His Excellency the President for giving me this opportunity to actually serve as the second in command for our institution.
Prior to her appointment, civil society organizations have been campaigning for women to occupy leadership roles in the Sierra Leone police. This is the first time a woman is occupying the second highest position in the Sierra Leone police.
This is brilliant move for women's empowerment and, the issue of governance in Sierra Leone, in West Africa, and from a sub-regional perspective, to see a woman being the number 2 in the police force, the very architecture responsible for peace and stability in the country.
This is not the first time Mrs. Ture is making history. She was the first woman to hold the position of Director of Operations in the Sierra Leone Police. She left a legacy in that position. Since the end of the war, the police has groomed so many women, but only a few have been able to elbow their way to the top and change the face and image of the Sierra Leone Police.
But this male chauvinistic thing of elbowing women out, if I had not been strong enough, I would not have even attained the position of Assistant Inspector General. I was the first woman to be AIG. But where did that take me? Nowhere, because nobody was prepared to take me beyond.
In a male-dominated profession, for a woman to succeed, she needs to work 10 times harder than men. The challenges are numerous. You can be elbowed out of office or bullied if you're weak. Nasu Fofana was a gender advisor to former President Koroma and is the author of a new book, Leave It to Nasu. The journey, according to her, was tough and rough.
I used to sometimes attend the executive management board of the Sierra Leone Police, and I saw firsthand how sometimes it could be difficult for women to be at that level. Okay, there were 3 women and maybe about 15 men. Okay, it's one thing giving them the position or them attaining the position. Whenever we get into positions, being appointed or attaining that position is the easiest part, I would say. Okay, maintaining and being allowed to do your job is another. I was there. I know exactly how people try to create problems for me as gender advisor to the president. So the higher women go, the more pressure you get externally.
But how can women emerge as strong leaders and break barriers in society? Fatou Wuri is a social justice advocate who is passionate about gender equity and female leadership. She believes that women should be given the opportunity to prove themselves worthy.
So I truly believe that women can emerge as strong leaders in multiple ways. I think that it's really important that we don't just put the onus on women to develop the skill sets and to access the opportunities that will put them in leadership positions. I think it starts first and foremost with creating systems, policy, culturally, politically, that is committed to ensuring that women can enter these opportunities, can enter these doors of opportunities to be able to serve their country at the highest level.
The New Direction government of President Bio has promised to ensure that this is not a one-off appointment, and they will ensure that women hold key positions in the government.
The New Direction government of President Julius Maada Bio believes in laying the foundational building blocks for gender empowerment. We don't see it as an action. It is a holistic approach to doing that. That is why we are investing in free quality education. We are, amongst other things, also ensuring that any lady who goes to university and is doing any of the sciences gets an automatic scholarship. This is part of a deliberate policy to empower women so that they are able to take on competitive roles hitherto considered, men's exclusive domain. Like you noted, His Excellency has gone down in history as the person who has appointed the first substantive female Deputy Inspector General, right? So we believe that if we empower women, we'll get more women qualified for such appointments. Already, the police has a gender department. Yes, we are going to work with them, and I'm sure the new Deputy IG is going to ensure that that unit is strengthened so that more women are given opportunities to be able to compete with their male forum when it comes to appointments and deployment.
Many believe the Police Council made the right choice in selecting Mrs. Elizabeth Ture as Deputy Inspector General of Police.
She is extremely qualified. She is a capable administrator. So I would actually want to thank the Police Council for making this appointment a reality. We're very, very thankful, but I'm pleased that we have her there.
The newly appointed DIG, a long time ago, 15 years, when I joined Campaign for Good Governance, and understanding what governance means in an era of post-conflict reconstruction. At that time, security was the heart, of building a stable society, resilient enough to institute democratic culture. And I saw her performed a duty, well-focused, and ready to build partnership across the board.
I believe, as I have worked with this particular individual, that she is going to make us all proud and she is going to live up to the task.
For more women to succeed in this profession, there should be political will and a space free from bias, which the New Direction government has sworn to make history in having more women on board.
The foundational basis has to be empowering them through education, empowering them through exposure. As I speak to you, or just before the disruption of COVID-19, you had many women going on peacekeeping assignments. You give them the necessary education, the necessary opportunities to serve, to lead, and to get exposed. All of this is happening because we honestly believe that whatever a man can do, women too could do. Apart from the police, you also see that as part of the president's affirmative action policy, we had the recruitment of 300 women into the Ars last year. This is a deliberate policy to ensure that the women who constitute 51% of our population and who have for the longest time been disadvantaged are given an opportunity, fair and square, to compete with their male counterparts.
The police leadership has been traditionally viewed as a masculine activity. The connection between leadership and masculinity has been changing in recent years, but only negligibly. Research that has looked at the differences between male and female leaders suggests that there are more similarities than differences and that both genders are equally effective.